What if the secret to fighting climate change was hiding inside a cow's stomach this entire time? Scientists just discovered a cell organelle, a tiny structure present inside the cell that nobody had seen before, and they're calling it the hydrogenobody. It might be pumping the methane gas that is warming our planet and is present in cow's gut.
Because when we talk about livestock, it's mostly cattle, and there are 1.5 billion cows on this earth, which is that for every 5 people there is one cow, and we use cattle farming for milk production and meat production. This produces 220 pounds of methane per cow, which is actually 27% according to the global anthropogenic methane emission by source.
4 chambers in its stomach, and the first one being the rumen, which is like a fermentation tank. Billions of microbes break down grass and hay, and there are microbes, which are single-celled organisms called ciliates present, and they're responsible for the production of methane. But scientists couldn't figure out as to how they are doing it or what organelle is behind this methane production. A team of researchers in China finally cracked it. They isolated these ciliates one by one, sequenced their DNA, and what they found stopped them cold. A brand new organelle, never described before, single membrane, and it was sitting right at the base of the cilia, the structure which microbes use to swim around. And this thing, the hydrogenobody, makes hydrogen gas. This hydrogen gas then gets fed to another completely different set of microbes called the archaea, which then produces methane. So whenever a cow burps and let out methane, these are the microbes which are behind it. Now let's talk about scale, because the numbers are massive. Livestock, mostly cattle, accounts for about 30% of the global methane emission. And methane is over 25 times more potent as greenhouse gas than CO2. So this is a big deal. We've known the problem, but we never had the target to fix it. And now we might. The research team also cataloged different ciliate organisms and sequenced their DNA to find how many hydrogenobodies do they contain. And the result was that the ciliate families, which is covered in cilia from head to toe, had more hydrogenobodies, and thus it produced more hydrogen and thus more methane production. So if we can eliminate or maybe reduce the number of these species, potentially that could lead to a massive impact. But here is where it gets complicated. So the scientists try to eliminate or move all these ciliates families out of the digestive system, right? Because that's the solution that we can think of right now. But the meat production and the milk production fell tremendously. So as annoying as these microbes are for climate, they are doing their work for the digestion of very hard plant fibers. So we can't just eliminate them. We need to be very surgical and very target specific to potentially reduce these numbers of organisms inside the stomach without breaking the whole digestive system. One researcher called it a 25-step road, and this discovery is the step one. But step one in the right direction with the map is everything. Think about it as a long-term thing. Breeding cattle that naturally host fewer microbes like these in the stomach and the gut, or maybe feed additives or drugs or probiotics for these cattle so that they naturally decrease this amount or just does not produce conditions or environment to let these microbes thrive. And well, it's not just the cattle, it's the goats, it's deer, and a lot of other ruminants, because this study scales globally. Essentially handed the scientific community a brand new target to work on, and it's an exciting study and a very exciting discovery.